everybody, and welcome to Hex Token Channel. Your host, Superman in the house. Hope you guys are having a great time out there, wherever you are around the world. Obviously, I'm recording here from good old New Zealand at the bottom of the world. And of course, in terms of time ahead in the future, so you're getting Pulsechain and Hex news right from the beginning of time. You got it right at the big bang there. And of course, with the 11 dimensions, we love it. Multi-dimensional channel. That's how we rock and roll. Your host, Superman, an alien from another planet. That's how we rock and roll here. So I hope you guys are having a good time. And of course, that was some introduction. But welcome everybody. If you're new to the channel, of course, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Hit the bell for future videos. And let's have a good time. We're going to talk about a lot of cool stuff. We're going to get in the stock market, of course, crypto market. We're going to get into Hex and the ecosystem, and of course, a couple of updates. We're going to talk about an update from Power City with one of the staff there, and of course, a popular person in the ecosystem. We're going to talk about that too. We've got a poll up at the moment, of course, John Cena, and of course, John Cena follow Richard Hart. So let's get into that. Before we do that, though, let's say hello to people in the chat there, and a big welcome from me. Oh man, cool, I guess, but it's a bit of a comment. Talking about John Cena there. Some freedom source would do the big man some good, says Empty Corner. Yeah, might have a little bit of education in play, but maybe if he's following Richard, he might hear a bit more about freedom. That's probably the case there. Sandy Beach as well. Good to see Sandy in the house there. Sarah G in the house. Hey, Sarah, good to see you. Hello, Hexkins as well. So we've got Sandy and Sarah in the house. Great to see you both there. And of course, DGN there. Well, hello. Well, hello. I like that one, DGN. We've got Lies Beneath in the house as well. Hello, how are you today? Hey, I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good there, Lies Beneath. And of course, it's pretty sunny here. I've done my 12th walk in a row. I think it's number 12. Yeah, number 12 walk in a row. And so that's going very well. I'm going to end up doing a double training session today for the first time. So stepping it forward there. And so, yeah, I might talk about my training and health plan later on in the live stream. So stay tuned for that. That's something of interest to you. We've got the ultimate strategy, of course, of this channel is Hex, EX, PLS, and PLX for the win. And Lies Beneath always brings that to us. Very, very cool. Sarah G's in the house says, I'm not sure, but didn't John Cena bow down to China? Well, this is what some people are talking about there, Sarah, so I think you might be onto it. I actually don't know him that well. I know he's a famous wrestler, and that's pretty much it, and he's been in a few movies as well. I'd be surprised, actually, to be honest. It's a bit weird when you're, if you are in that zone, you're in the freest country in the world, in the United States, with some of the best protections with the Constitution, so it's a little bit odd, isn't it? Hey, we've got Brian in the house there. Good to see you, Brian. One of our community leads. Always a pleasure to have Brian in the house. Such a huge supporter, and we love Brian. So big shout out to Brian. Brennan says, hello, is Champ there? Champ who? This question will be answered this Sunday being on WrestleMania. It's a meme, says Brennan. Nice one. Nice one. All right, so cool. What else we got there? Blair's in the house there. Hi, hello all. Be good, says Blair. Yeah, definitely be good. And Sandy Beach says, hello, Hex Token, everybody. What else have we got there? We've got a few others in the house. Let's jump through some of those. Tufon, I'd like to put the SBF in a camel clutch, says Tufon. What else? The Empty Corner is in the house there. John who? John Cena says mixed. We've got to see in the house there. All right, so cool. So virality, we've got 4 options for our poll. Virality starts to happen. Means nothing. Richard reaching wider influence and don't know. Don't know, says the rest of them. So yeah, I don't believe it's a meme. I think it is supposed to be real. Richard Scott's John Cena, welcome to the party there. So those are your 4 options. Get in there and vote. We'll have a bit of fun with this in any case, and see what the results are later on in the live stream. John Gibbons says, I've noticed a lot of car YouTubers with high followers and views. Maybe Richard could appear at some of them. They are definitely big channels, John. You're right. You're right about that. Wooker's in the house as well. Go the Bushwhackers. Yeah, the good old Kiwi Bushwhackers. That's from a long time, a couple of decades ago. But they were definitely one of the most entertaining crews there in the old WWE. InvestX in the house there. Hello, Superman. Hello, everybody. Good to see you, InvestX. If you haven't checked out InvestX, go and check out InvestX. It's just a fantastic platform with a lot of utility. I'm going to try and look to cover that in the future soon. So stay tuned for that. All right, so cool. Let's jump over to some stuff here. We've got so that is from Richard Hart. He posted that 10 hours ago. There's been lots of reactions to that, of course, as you can see. Lots of reactions to the John Cena follow. I smell what he was cooking there. Jim Rat Crypto in there, Brazology, lots of people in here making comments. And so Pulsechain there, John CENA into Hex. Who would have thought? Absolutely, who would have thought? We got Maxi there from Maximus, Jake Sharp in there. There's a lot of YouTubers in there as well, following in pretty fast. I guess you get ranked based on how many hearts you get. So that's probably why they show a lot of them show up at the top, given the fact that they all have following. So it's just the way social media works, isn't it? So lots of people in there having fun with this. Was that there? Some wrestling there. So that's a bit of a background around, I guess, John CENA. There he is there. It's probably finished on there. So there we are. Lots of stuff being posted around that. Let's get in here. We've got a couple more comments. John says, I've noticed a lot. I think we got up to that one. And was there a V3 on Poly? Not that I know of, Brennan. Not that I know of. Brennan said RG3 said something on Crypto 7 stream. Yeah, I'm not aware of that at all. There's always been a Ethereum proof of work a chain that's always been private, and that has been around for a long time. So maybe that's the one you're talking about. Tufan says Luke and Butch, Bushwhackers. Lol says Tufan. I mean, you guys got some good memories there with the old with the brothers, weren't they? Brothers from New Zealand, yeah. All right, let's get into it, folks. We've got the stock market. Let's kick it off and let's take the comment off the chat there. We've got the Dow Jones, which is the top 16, top 30 industrials actually, down 1.4%, down 482 points, down to 33,947. So just broke below that 34,000 mark. The S&P is down 1.8% at 73 points, down below, just below 4,000 at 3,998.84. And of course, the NASDAQ there, which has got a lot of the tech companies in it, down almost 2%. They're just over 1.9% at 221 points, down at 11,239. US dollar strengthened, of course, with the risk off, and of course up 0.7%, 71 to 0.71 to 105.2 on the US dollar index. Let's have a look at the commodities. We got oil down. This is really nice, actually, having the oil price come down, at least for the time being. At least we've got this down 3%, $2.50 on the Brent oil, down $83. That's really good. If we look at the month, this is really, we're up at $98, and really we're come down a lot there. We have been as low as 81, but we're at 83 at the moment. This is over a month period, so that's kind of cool. Let's look at the last year. We were up over $122 back in June 2020. So almost 5-6 months later, and we've come down here. So it's nice to see that reprieve. And West Texas, of course, is pretty even at $77.40. So nice to see that. Now gold is at 1781. That's pretty much flat. And silver, which has had a nice little rally recently, is at $22.40. And of course, you can see the rally in there. Look at that, beautiful over the last year. That's over the last year. Still not as high as it was back in April or March there. So April got up to $25, $26. So silver not too bad at this stage. Now, if we get that Fed pivot, that's probably next year sometime. Then that might end up really rallying quite strongly with good old silver. So let's get into some of the commentary. The S&P 500 slumped Monday as further data pointed to further signs of inflation pressures weighed on sentiment ahead of the Federal Reserve meeting next week. And we've talked about this. This is the last big financial thing coming up for us before the end of the year. Remember, the Federal Reserve has 8 meetings a year, and this is the last one on the 14th of December. And of course, we get that signal from Powell in his last speech at the Brookings Institute. It sounded a bit more dovish, at least on the rate of increases. That side of it. Remember the 3 questions: how fast it's going to rise, how high it gets to, how high it gets to, and of course how long it stays around. And then eventually we get some sort of pivot if they decide to ease their tightening, as it were. And so that's what we're really looking at. So we got the services activity, which has been an area of the economy flagged by the Fed as a key contributor to inflation. Remember, there was 3 parts of that. That's we got goods, we got property, and we got non-property services. So the service activity, which has been an area of the economy flagged by the Fed as a key contributor to inflation, rose by more than expected in October. And this is the one that they really highlighted in Powell's speech, if you recall. This was a big deal. You can find that speech on this channel, of course, if you want to check that out. We've got the full speech there of Powell at Brookings. All right, so stoking fresh fears rose more than expected in November, stoking fresh concerns at the more hawkish Fed monetary measures. So maybe in their discussions, they'll flip more hawkish from their initial dovish now that the actual numbers are coming in, and that's going to be the case. So we ended up getting the core PCE, that's the personal consumer expenditure, that's the wider measure, a GDP measure of inflation coming down to 5%. So still sort of highish. It would be nice if it had been below 5. We're still getting strong, relatively strong employment, even though we're seeing cracks in employment. We've got a service sector also doing better than expected. So we are getting things that may feed into a more hawkish Fed rate. So maybe we might get that fifth 75 basis point hike, and rather than the 50 basis points, which we really want. And that would be very bullish to get the 50 basis points into Christmas. And of course, we want that Christmas rally. So it'd be nice to have a financial environment that's bullish for a rally, as well as getting some special events, maybe Pulsechain testnet v3, which will be the ETH proof of stake version, as soon as they've got this bug under control that was in the software there. So that's cool. The ICM services data for November showed a jump of 56.5, well above expectations, 53.3. That's really strong. While the prices paid index component of the report, a gauge of inflation, remains sticky at a very high level. So that's probably going to feed in too. That's actually a pretty important one. The Fed is expected to slow the pace of interest rates at its next meeting, but recent data, including the red hot jobs report on Friday, shows that they are going to have to hold rates at a higher level, sufficiently restricted for quite a while to get inflation back down under 2%. Yeah, so we also had that wage component that was quite inflationary too from that jobs report. Treasury yields rose as investors weighed up the prospect of higher for longer interest rates to bring down inflation. Pressures growth sectors of the market included tech and consumer stocks. So that's the second question, right? So hopefully we'll get it, even if with the stronger growth, maybe we'll get 50 basis points, but maybe it's more likely in February when we have the next meeting, the first meeting for next year, that we get another 50 basis points rather than 25. So, it's either here or there, but for Christmas, it'd be pretty nice if we can get a little Christmas rally on. That'd be pretty cool. I'm sure we all agree with that. Yep, energy led the decline, falling more than 3% given the plunge in oil prices, even as OPEC and its allies known as OPEC Plus kept production plans unchanged, and amid reports that China eased C-19 restrictions over the weekend. So that's kind of where we are there. Despite the weaker start to the week for stocks, some on Wall Street believe that the broader market may have bottomed. So that's, you got to take this with the keyword some there. Some may have the broader market bottomed and are likely to continue to search for direction in the months ahead. Overall, the markets are in basing bottoming mode heading into 2023, although we believe the lows are either close or have already been established October levels, says Montgomery Scott there. So we'll see how that pans out. We're expected to head into recession next year, and of course that's going to end up flowing into earnings for companies. We expect to see the labor market start to crack more, as particularly the tech companies. Some of them are just it's not because of interest rates necessarily, just because they're too over top heavy in the overheads. And of course we saw that recently with Twitter. Maybe Twitter's culling of its staff, mostly for ideological reasons, I would say, to get rid of all those activists, but is actually just shows you that you can keep the company going as long as you've got the right people still operating it. And of course, you can get rid of all those what is it? I know I won't go too far into that, but I was going to make a few jokes, but we'll leave it at that. That's pretty much the stock market. Let's get into crypto. Crypto at the moment, BTC was looking pretty nice. Yesterday we were covering it. We were up at 17,300. It's just pulled off there with the stock market as well. So we're down to just below $17,000 at the moment. The hammer has not yet fallen. So we're still, obviously, contagion still being an issue. We talked about Gemini and Genesis yesterday, I think it was. So it's still playing out. We've still got contagion playing out from FTX. And of course, that's the big one that we know of out there, but there are others as well. So we'll just have to keep following this. And of course, the shorters in the market will be looking for something. And of course, those that are big enough to manipulate the markets will also be playing their games as well. So we're going to see that play out sooner or later, no doubt. We're still expecting that one final big fall of the hammer. Maybe we get down to 12 to 14K. Maybe we get to 11K and pray of Richard Hart. So we'll see how we get on. So far, though, market holding up pretty resilient at this stage. So we'll see how we get on. that Fed rate hike on the 14th is going to be very important for the sentiment over the Christmas New Year period. Remember, the next meeting is February, so look forward to that. All right, Hex at the moment is at 2.63 cents. Obviously pulled down with the market as well, fairly correlated with the market at the moment. And of course, was up at almost got the 3.1 cents. Got just come down on that on the 4 hourly. This is the 4 hourly chart. Let's go to the daily chart. So there is the daily chart for Hex, and of course we've got the Fed rate hike. That's the last one. If you guys have been following this chart, and you know we had lots of other stuff ahead of it, this is the last one in front of us. We're only a few days away from that. So we're about to trip over another day. So we're only 8 days away from that, and it will be 7 by the time we have another 15 minutes. So a week away from this. And of course, maybe we get Pulsechain V3 by Christmas. I'm going to move that actually over. Let's move it to the middle of December. And I've got this going out to the 1st of January. So maybe we get that. Let's move it out to the 7th of January. Maybe we'll get it somewhere in here for Pulsechain V3 testnet if what's known. So I did a video yesterday on the rumors and the facts and what we know so far. So if you haven't checked it out, definitely check it out. And it's a fairly good summary. Crypto7 came in one of the comments, said he liked it, thought it was quite a nice balanced catch up of where it's at the moment. And basically, you know, there have been devs talking about PulseX and trying to get information from Pulsechain. The Pulsechain devs are like, oh, just wait off a couple of weeks. We'll probably have a Pulsechain V3 up and running, which is super bullish for Hex, because that would be the ETH proof of stake version, not the ETH proof of work version, and that's going to be very bullish for that. Now there is apparently a bug that was caught up a month ago, and they're racing just like the actual ETH team, the ETH Pulsechain team and the ETH team, sort of racing to fix up that bug as well. So obviously we want a cleaner chain. And of course have that forked over. So we'll see how we get over with that. But that's kind of optimistic, but cautiously optimistic, because obviously sometimes these things just don't come to fruition. So maybe we get a Christmas Pulsechain testnet launch. Maybe we get it in the year, whatever it's going to be. It does look more positive than, say, further than later. We do actually have something that's giving us a bit more hope about something sooner than later, which we all like. And particularly for Christmas, that'd be pretty cool. I'll open up my Pulsechain testnet V3 present. That'd be pretty cool at the Christmas tree. All right, so that's kind of where we're at the stage. Let's jump over to the whale bot. We've had some really unusual behavior in the whale bot over the last 24 hours. But before we get into that, let's get into the chat and catch up a bit. We've had some interesting things happen in the whale bot. You guys can tell me what you think about it when we go through it. Let's jump back up the top here. We've got a couple of comments. So I think we got up to there. Quick question, when is V3 coming out? I think we talked about that. StakeX, good to see StakeX in the house as well. RG3 is saying testnet 3 and showing up on Poly. Is he on Polygon? Okay, I haven't seen that. I have not seen. I'll go check that out. I will check that out a bit later. Lies beneath truth. Here is RG3's comments. Testnet V3 showing up on Poly when you switched a MetaMask. Okay, cool. I might check that out, Brian. Why would it be on Poly? Isn't that the wrong network for V3? I would have thought so too. I would have thought so as well, Brennan. G'day, Hexkins from the Dominican Republic. Good to see it living on crypto. Sam and SB's in the house there. Hello all. Good to see you, Sam. An awesome Hex Token channel member. Very cool to see. And Ted Nelson's in the house as well. Good to see you as well. Rango's dropped in too. We've got a few people jumping in here. It's great to see you all, by the way. Alfred's in house says, if you haven't had a laugh in a while, go watch CENA. Was it WW Bots Me? Okay, well, there's some recommendation for you from Alfred. Appreciate that. Thank you. And like your little Hex profile picture there too, Alfred. Evening, Superman. Hello, every follow Hexagon says, check my pulse. Good to see you in the house. And Tortoise Johnny there too. Always a pleasure to see Tortoise Johnny. Very, very cool. All right, so we look at this behavior in the whale bot over the last 24 hours. A little bit interesting. We got 111 million Hex staked for 38 days, and that's pretty massive. Let's jump in there, see if anyone's got any comments on that. Yeah, that's probably the reaction of a lot of people. 38 days to launch, 30K a month. I will take it, says Big A. Yeah. What else we got there? 4 million Hex in staked 16 hours ago. That was a 1,050. We had quite a few of these coming out after 3 years. And it's been pretty nice to see, actually. All the OG ones coming in from day, I guess, 1, day 2, day 3, something like that. So it's been pretty cool. This one's 1050, so, you know, it's 50 days or so. after 45 days or something after the Hex contract started. So back in 2020, early 2020, January sometime. So pretty neat to see that. What else? The end of January, February, something like that. So we got Hex alerts there, 17, almost 80 million stake for 5 days. Isn't that beautiful? Wow, that is absolutely amazing. A look at that thing. Woohoo! Shake it, baby. Yeah, hex.com. That's the way to go. Some really interesting staking behavior the last 24 hours. Honestly, very interesting. We know we've had some big candles coming out, but this has been pretty interesting to see that behavior. Yeah, everyone's pretty freaked out. So some good stuff going on there. But yeah, wow. What's it? $500,000? $500,000 at today's prices. That's some insane amount of stuff there. So very, very cool. We have also had some penalties here, 747 days over 1475. I'm always intrigued by these. Obviously, sometimes this is just due to a wallet being compromised. A lot of times, though, people are just in staking, so pretty crazy. They got ROI of 0.9%, so it looks like it's over 50 days there, 50%, I should say. 6 hours ago, we had 1 million stake for 1851 days. Then we had 1.5 million stake for 2,825. We had 1.7 million stake for 1724. Then we had 1.5 million stake for 16. This is fantastic. Look at all these stakes. This is kind of the unusual behavior I said that we got all at the time. Can't be a complete coincidence. So possibly all related. I don't know. Or some of them related. That's definitely interesting. 1 million Hex staked for 3,000 days. So lots of stuff happening in there. Some pretty crazy stuff. Lots of staking is a beautiful thing. Is what Hex is all about, getting those T-shares. Maybe people have decided to get these T-shares before it's too late. Maybe they start to understand how Hex is working. And of course, if you don't get the T-shares, you're going to be out of the game. 1.5 million stake for 2678. 1.5 million stake for 2092. Now, I'm not sure if these have been Hex exercise stakes or whatever they are, but because I haven't followed it, but interesting stuff there. Another 1.5 million stake for 973 days. So there's lots of big stakes going on there. Very, very cool. Circulating supply getting off the market, and you know me, I'm following the circulating supply like a hawk, and it's great to see all these beautiful, beautiful Hex stakes getting staked out there. Now they get rewarded for that, so it's a win-win. Win for circulating supply, win for the person staking. Pretty cool. All right, so that's good to see. Let's jump over to Hedron. Hedron at the moment is at 1956, sort of just mucking around at this level, isn't it, at the moment? Maybe it's finding a bottom here, but it has been in a pretty strong downtrend. Maybe it's finding a bottom around this price level. We will see in due time. Obviously, Pulsechain Testnet 3 would be bullish for Hedron 2, in my opinion. And of course, I know Randy Alaski is super bullish about Hedron. People say, "You bullish about Hedron, Randy?" I'm super bullish, says Randy. I'm super bullish. I love that. All right, so cool. I'm just paraphrasing, by the way. I'm pretty sure that's pretty close to what he was saying. You got to be careful here on YouTube. Got to be careful. All right, so cool. We're going to jump to the airdrops and free claims now. If you haven't joined our Discord, the link is in the video description, and of course, you can find these airdrops and free claims. They have different qualifying criteria. Obviously, Zen's here as well. This is more of a mint. This is a possible play as well, but it has been zooped up with the Zen NFT, and we're going to have a look at this. This has got a lot more interesting now, as you guys know. From the beginning, I said because of the log function, if you know what that looks like, it's sort of like this. Then most of the inflation's at the beginning, and you would expect to get this price, which is what I said. That's why I couldn't believe people buying it back here. I was just like, this thing's going to fall like a knife, and people kept buying. I was like, are they insane in the membrane? They're insane in the brain, of course, and down it came, right? Then we got some unexpected stuff around, pumps around the ZNFTs and mints and things like that. It's given us some little pumps. But these pumps can be pretty lucrative because if you look at this, if you're speculating, obviously we focus mostly on staking and more conservative crypto, generally speaking. But this is almost a 10x from here in 3 days, which is pretty nice. So everyone would like a 10x. It can be game changing depending on how much you put in there. And of course here, we've down here seems to have found a bit of a bottom here at the moment, which is pretty interesting. And of course, if I know they're up to stage 4 and they're testing, if they can get the NFTs out, which is going to have massive potential burn, then that this could be very interesting indeed for a big X pump. So we're watching that very closely. That is pretty much that. You can mint it yourself, obviously, on multiple chains, but we're following mostly the ETH chain, and I would suggest that a lot of people will be. Doesn't mean that other chains like Polygon won't do well. That's kind of what we're following at the moment. At the moment, of course, the weight token is at quarter of a penny, pretty much moving in the new channel here. Nothing to see here, folks. And of course, most people are waiting and waiting for Pulsechain. There's 8 different sacrifices that qualify for that, so you can check that out in our Discord under Pulsechain projects, under free claims and airdrops. So check that out. Links in the video description. Now, Poor Pleb, of course, is also around, and this is for Poor Plebs between $10 and $1,000. $10 and $1,000, and of course, you can see if you qualify for this, for the Pulsechain Pulse sacrifices, I think it was. And of course, it's had a little bit of a rally here, got a higher low, but still hasn't got a higher high yet. But we'll see how it goes. It did launch in a very bad time of the market, so it got dragged down. It's got to be a bit frustrating, even with stuff that's like free claim stuff. It's going to be a bit frustrating when you launch at a pretty bad part of the market. So it's just unfortunate. I think it's got 69 days or something like that to claim. So there's only can't be too long left because what day are we in? Day 35. So it can't be too many. 20 days or something like that left? I don't know, something like that. So we'll see how we get on. Those are the airdrops and free claims. We're going to jump over to where I'm up to. I think I'm going over to Pulse Bitcoin. We're going to jump over to Pulse Bitcoin and just doing our wrap up. And of course, we've got Pulse Bitcoin at $1.53, down 5%, but Pulse Dogecoin has done pretty well. So let's have a quick look at these. Pulse Bitcoin here has launched, and this will have it stay in the sun later on. It has not had the pump in this chart yet. It does look like what we expected to see, but without the pump yet. So the timing of the pump, sometimes it can happen really early, like day 7, day 8, but sometimes it takes a little while. We'll see how this goes. There are a thing is probably competing with the asset token, and of course the asset token over here is doing pretty much pretty close to what I thought it might do. As you guys know, I've been ranking kind of the ATM and the ASICs at the top, and then maybe Pulse Bitcoin in the middle, and then Pulse Dogecoin and Pulse Litecoin. Well, the market here obviously moving with Pulse Dogecoin, people trying to mint. So this is the fact is we've got a special phase still playing out on the old transform. So that makes Pulse Dogecoin for the time being just a little bit more valuable. And we've been seeing that in the chart too, because we've got the end of the transform playing out. But after that, it's going to be interesting to see the rank of these tokens. But asset token seems to be the most valuable to me at the moment. Yeah, we've got Pulse Dogecoin back up over $6, which is kind of where I felt it belonged for a long time. But we got over 50% burn on this. So some pretty crazy stuff. The high of the day, $6.44. We haven't got many days left though. And the fireworks are going to happen after this, I think. We're going to see some fireworks. But then which one are you going to place your bet on? That's the one. And of course, here we are, 14 days to go until this ends just before Christmas. It's going to be fun to see the transform of PLSD into asset token. So that's going to be cool. I actually forgot to talk about the Hedron charts here too. We'll come back to that. So Pulse Bitcoin, yeah. So this is where we are at the moment. Let's have a look here. So yeah, asset tokens though. Look at this. Wow, $1.20, and of course the high of $1.30. What a nice little play this was here. So pretty good little play there. And of course, you take it from this candle, that's been up 55%, currently up 44% in 3 days. So pretty nice play. And that's how, we're ranking this up really valuable. This is probably going to get even more valuable after the transform, because the only way to get it is through the ATMs, right? So this asset token is going to be pretty interesting valuation for these. So watch this chart, watch it closely. Anyway, not investment advice. Do your own due diligence, all that good stuff. Just my opinions. All right, so cool. Let's jump back. I forgot to cover the Wattses. I don't know if there's been any Wattses burned for the Hedron Okosa there. Let me pull that up. I'm jumping around a little bit here actually. Hedron minting has been exceeding burning over the last 2 weeks. This is cool. So that's good to see. That's from Dev Huey. So Hedron burning is doing on average burning more than being minted. So that's kind of cool to see. We had 4 more Wattses burned over the last 24 hours, 23 hours ago. What else there? So yeah, we're getting a good Hedron burn and Watts burn. So that's slowly. It's very slow though, very slow, but it's happening. So it's kind of good. All right, so that's cool. Let's jump away to the actual BS. We're jumping around a bit here because I got things out of order, but we're going to jump over to the transform for Pulse Bitcoin. And we've got 14 days and 17 hours to go until the end. And then the fireworks are really going to play leading into and out of this. It's going to be pretty fun to see that play out. We've got 3,147,000 Pulse Dogecoin has been burned and transformed into 15.5 million asset tokens. We've got 51.6% of the PLSD has been burned. That's pretty incredible. And Pepe was pretty much on the money with that. So well done to Pepe. And of course, the mine there, he wasn't on the money on the dollars though, Pulse Bitcoin, but that might play out in the future. So he's got an open window for that, I guess, the $20, but we'll see how that goes in the future. Global active miner count just under 7,000. We just dropped below that. 19 million in ASIC mining. Now this is the scarcity play because you need this to mine Pulse Bitcoin and Pulse Litecoin, and this is going to be the scarcity play because the only other way to get this is going to be the ATMs based on the tokenomics here, and the burn of ASIC tokens is a pumpermental too, 34,000 burn. That's going to be a slow burn, 25%, but it will, I guess, add up over time. That's kind of where we are at the moment. In terms of the mining, we've had 2,423,000 Pulse Bitcoin mined so far, so almost quarter of the way to the 10.5 million before the first halving. Remember, this is a virtual representation of Bitcoin, so it's kind of cool like that. You know, the Satoshi Bitcoin, the original. So we're watching that as well. This is forward-looking, so really only about 1 million or so has been minted into existence. The rest of it's kind of going to come out soon in the future. There's a lot more ASICs mining now, so we're going to get more Pulse Bitcoin. Still at this mining reward of 7.5% until the first halving. So we've got ASIC token miner there. It is traded 2,786 of them. ATMs are trading on Aerial and, of course, OpenSea, 1 million points. Not much. And, of course, that's all, I guess, that could be topped up into the ASIC tokens. So it's going to be fun to see that. Most of it, a lot of it was redeemed very early, and they were mining Pulse Bitcoin with that. So, but maybe ASIC tokens is easily the best play. It's going to be interesting to see that. And, of course, feel free to leave your comment about that because it's interesting to me. So that is pretty much a lot of our headline charts. We're going to jump over to the Wattses quickly. And I didn't actually talk about BNBP. We'll talk about that in a second, but let me jump over back into the Wattses. Let's have a look at the return on the Wattses so far. What do we got here? We got 1,092 over $1,000. So looking really, really good there. People are holding on to those take like a tiger. Is that the way they say it? Take like a tiger? I don't know what that means, but they're holding on to it really, really a lot. They're holding on to a lot there, so it's going pretty well on the old Watts NFTs. I've been absolutely amazed at how little is actually being burned. People get it. People understand it. If they give it up, they're gonna give up a pretty incredible NFT. So this has been done pretty well. People are not letting them go. I know some people are frustrated by that. Other people that want to stay in, they want people to get out. They want people to burn, and they want to keep getting more high yield, which is pretty funny, especially given the auction house at the moment. I didn't actually cover the auction house today, but we're going to leave that one out. We'll cover it tomorrow, and we'll see. I don't think that's going to be an issue. So cool. Now I want to talk about Power City. So there's a news here. So we're going to get into this. Before I do that, though, let's catch up in some of the chats as well. Let's see what we're up to. We've got our poll going at the moment, so get into our poll. Let's jump back up here. Check my pulse was definitely in the house. StakeX says Sam Backman, leave it to a devote commie Democrat to ruin crypto for everybody. Yeah. Some people have got that strong theory. I mean, it's a good weighting. We know that they're up to games like that, so it's not a bad theory. John Cena does speak beautiful Mandarin. Maybe he could be our Chinese spokesman, says MT Corner. Yeah. Ni hao ma. That's about as much as I know, I think. John Cena follows like 487,000 people, says Bluff City Breaks. Oh, does he? There you go. He likes to follow a lot of people then. Check Chris A says Hex and Pulsechain going to rule. Best tech out there, in it for the tech, and best tech equals best gain, says Chris A. That's a good insight from Chris A there. Andrew Reynolds in the house there, and Alfred Carpenter as well. Good to see them both, of course. I think we talked about Alfred earlier in the live stream. Happy Tuesday. Good to see everybody. Says Andrew Reynolds. Always a pleasure, Andrew. Great to see you in the house. Yeah, if you want to join our Discord, our community leader there, Brian, has just posted the Discord links, and that's you can go and join us. If you like good information and good community, we're in a bear market, so you can imagine a bull market, how good that's going to be. Come and join us and get involved there. It's going to be a great place. We've got two chats in there. We've got Rich Heart chats and Pulsechain chats. So there's something for everybody in there. So cool. Sandy Beach. Here's a bit of wisdom from Sandy Beach. I don't want to rush my life. I like that, Sandy Beach. There is some alpha drop there from Sandy. We appreciate that. Yeah, we don't want to rush the life. Yeah, want to drag it out a little bit there. I tell you what, when I was competitively dancing, I used to train so many hours that life was just racing past. days would race past, and weeks would race past. When you're training, it's a very like you're looking straight ahead. It's time just goes boom, boom. Your training hours just go through. Your day just goes through hour after hour. You're just focused on so much intensity. It really does. So when you stop doing dancing like I have now, time slows down. It just goes, it slows down. It's like you're in a train that just suddenly is going 200 miles an hour or something, and it just slows down. It's a bit like that. So really good insight there, Sandy Beach. I'm not sure if Sandy Beach wanted to go there with that, but that's where I took it. That's where I took it, Sandy. Andrew Coin is in the house there. Definitely still Monday here. At it says AMT. Life is short enough, says Sandy Beach. Alfred says, lol, stop. Lol, yeah, stop it. Yeah, for sure. Let's have it. Sandy Beach says, I sold some Paul Pleb today. And you market maker, you Sandy Beach, you market maker. Wolverine doing a Twitter space now, says Sandy, on the old Pulse Bitcoin. Yeah, he's back from having a rest, isn't he? Sandy Beach is Hexo having a boy. I did see some mention about baby on there. I didn't know whether he'd had another baby or not, whether he was just being silly. Often he does that. So, yeah, I wasn't quite sure about that one. Bob Wells in the house there. Hello, Miss Beach. And J-Man is also in there. Hello, Superman. Good to see it, J-Man. And hello, Hexkin, says J-Man. Nice one. All right, so cool. Anyway, so we had this update from Power City with a bit of a staffing change. So it's cool. We've had a few, haven't we? We had Just Ask Jesse jumped. What did he jump from Liquid Loans into? Was it back to Power City? I think it was. We've had Walrus. I don't know if he's completely jumped, but he's from free for How to Pulse and stuff like that over to Liquid Loans, and now we've had a Magic Upper Ride with Crypto Ty there, Hextrovert, just 16 hours ago, 17 hours ago, just giving an update that he's leaving the old Power City there. So I wasn't sure what his role was in there, but Hextrovert is leaving there. Obviously, Magic Upper Ride 369, we all know who that is. So, hey, everybody, I wanted to be the first to hear that after careful consideration and deliberation, I've decided to step down from the Power City team. This hasn't been an easy decision to make, as I truly believe Power City is an incredible project with the huge potential. As I've said to you guys, I do too. And I think that particularly if you missed out on Pulsechain Sacrifice, which a lot of people have, it didn't seem like it at the time when Pulsechain Sacrifice was out, particularly at the beginning, back between the 15th of July and the 3rd of August, which is when the main event was. There was, we thought there was a lot of people, but after that, months later, there's all these people just keep coming saying, can I sacrifice for Pulsechain? Can I sacrifice for Pulsechain? And of course, Richard had a bit of a tail end for that all the way up to about the 5th of April this year. And so people are still sacrificing. I think there's still people still sacrificing. I don't think they're being honored, though, because I'm pretty sure that was supposed to finish on the April the 5th. But people still come, when Pulsechain. It reminds you of that Seagulls, Seagulls. Mine. When Pulsechain. It's a bit like that. That's how popular Pulsechain is. I mean, so, jokes aside, that's how popular people want it. You're still coming in. Can I sacrifice a Pulsechain? That's pretty crazy. So anyway, Power City is one way of getting Pulse, all right? They're going to have multiple top tier utilities. So this is not your meme coin that's you don't know much about. This is not some simple fork or some sort of reflective taxing type of token. This is top tier utilities that are coming in and actually having a really fundamental value to them. And these guys are going to have multiple of these businesses. All the fees are going to come in to buy Pulse and give it to whoever's got the Power City Watt token. So I think it is easily, from my point of view, easily the best way of getting a lot of Pulse. And of course, if you get Pulse times the price, man, you're laughing yourself silly, right? So I think it's going to be a pretty powerful system. And of course, particularly their transformed cross bridge, that it's going to be absolutely, they had a huge partnership with Multichain, and of course they're going to have tons and tons of blockchains and thousands of tokens. So it's going to be amazing to see that. So very excited about this, and and their sacrifice is still on. So it's a 1-to-1 at the moment, but you can definitely find that, and you can go to our Discord, just go into Pulsechain projects. You'll be able to find Power City there. We have a sacrifice list there as well. Hextrovert then said, number 2, 7 hours ago, to achieve great things for our community and Pulsechain. As you all know, I've invested many hours, weeks, and months into helping to build Power City into the most unstoppable force that it is today. But life is short, and I need to spend more time away from my phone and a computer with my family, especially over the upcoming holidays. I fully support the team, and I know they will continue to build and deliver something special. My thanks to you for all your support and trust over the last year. I have loved every minute of it, especially the banter on Twitter Spaces. Reflecting back, I'm extremely proud of how far we have come as a team. When I first joined, it is fair to say Power City was almost a completely different project. Together with Triple Dad, we have helped to build a strong community, and they have indeed. They've done an amazing job. Enhanced the project decisions and design and implement one of Pulsechain's most successful sacrifices, and that is true, and it's still going, of course. This isn't goodbye. It's more like see you soon. I'll remain active on Telegram and Twitter Spaces where you can join me for a yarn best of all with Triple Dad beside me. Magic Carpet Ride will continue to thrive and produce quality content for Pulsechain on YouTube in 2023. Peace and beers, Hextrovert, Magic Carpet Rides, which I thought that was really, really nice. So you can go and, go comment on that one. I'll post the link to that tweet in the chat there if you want to go say hello. So pretty cool. All right, we've got a couple more comments in here as well in the chat, so we're going to jump to that. Sandy Beach says Hexo and nurse or ex-nurse baby due in June. Nice one, Sandy Beach. Thanks for the info there. Life is only as short as you want it to be. The right decisions can add decades to your lifespan. That's true too, Bob. Well, very wise. My baby Hexkin is about 15 months now. Going to have to get another one in the oven before too long. Then we will have 3, and I think that might be enough. Well, I hope you've given them all some 555 steaks there, MT Corner. You did say baby Hexkin, so I presume that's the case there. They could certainly 5555 steaks would be pretty good. That'd be about 15. About 15 when they come out, something like that. That'd be cool. Just before university, they can all go get that high education. That's the way it goes. Crypto Knights in house. Hey, you might already know this. Mark Cuban from Shark Tank is following Rich Hart. Nice one there, Crypto Knight. I think we might have been aware of that. Yeah, I think we talked about that a little while ago. Very, very cool, Crypto Knight. Appreciate your alpha there. The tweet is very eloquent, says Sandy Beach. It is very eloquent, and that's kind of how they run their shop, isn't it? It's very, very cool. What is yarn? Yarn, just yakking away. If you want to yak away, talk about anything, just chat, sort of thing. All right, so cool. Gas bag, gaslighting. I don't know. So there we are. Not gaslighting, perhaps, but that's kind of a cool from Power City. Now, obviously, the sacrifice is on. I was going to have a quick look at these. This is the current ones on at the moment. Chaos versus Love.io, Pulse LN, Power City. Now, Power City out of these is easily, in my view, obviously not investment advice. You must do your own due diligence, but easily head and shoulders above all these others. There are some other ones that are interesting and maybe good in here. Pulse LN possibly could be something. We've got some different ones here, but Power City is in here. So if you want to get access to that, you can. But like I say, the links are in the video description. I'll post this link in the chat as well in case you want to check some of these out. But Power City is the alpha there. I think there's at least going to be 5 super utilities on Pulsechain outside of PulseX. And of course, Power City would be one of those in my view. All right, so cool. What else there? We've got BankX as well coming up. That's going to be another stable coin. They're going to be multi-chain. I'm a little more dubious about that. I think they've got some components across the board, but if they can deliver, then it might do okay. What else there? Decentralized X there. Mooch Movie. HBX NFT Marketplace is a promise. Hex Postcards is active. Bitrue is active. Win-Win. Win-Win is a new team, so it might be the criticism, but the idea itself, I think, is pretty interesting and could prove to be pretty popular. And it's like a part staking. You're foregoing 2/3 of your staking benefit for big lotteries, basically. So if you're into that sort of thing, where you still get a bit of your income, and then you forego a bit for getting big lotteries, then that might end up being attractive. But we'll see how that one goes. Pulse Unity, and of course, Internet Money Wallet Sacrifice. So obviously, Internet Money Wallet is also a top tier DApp as well. The big thing you ask about those is, can they grow big enough? Or can they grow big enough to get the daily revenue in there? So that's the question you got to ask yourself. Apart from that, is a top tier utility, and I think we've seen them demonstrate product rollouts there. They may have to get their HTML coders up to scratch or something like that. But their wallet technology is progressing pretty well. So excited about that. All right, so cool. That is pretty much the sacrifices. We're going to get into Hex Daily Stats. How far through? We are 45 minutes. Man, we're doing well today. What day are we on? Day 1099. Yeah, we're waiting for day 1099. Can you believe it? We've already ticked over to day 1100. Is that alpha or what? That's some cool stuff right there. That is a very, very neat indeed. All right, cool. Let's have a look at the markets. We've got BTC trying to hold on to 17K. We've got ETH at 1261 and BNB at 289. That's kind of where we're at this stage. Just having a look here. We've got Litecoin actually doing kind of well there, up 5%, $80.78 at the moment. Good old Litecoin. Man, there used to be so many spam dApps on Litecoin. Man, oh man, I spent quite a bit of time on there for a while. And man, it was a crazy place. Had to be very careful on there, man. Some crazy stuff, crazy dApps out there on the, haven't been on there for a while now, but back in the day, it was pretty much the wild west of crypto on Litecoin. Let me know what you guys think about that. All right, so cool. We're at 2.863 cents on Hex, and Hedron is at 1956. Almost feels like we have just got stuck in the zone for like ever, doesn't it? But hopefully, if we get some excitement in the ecosystem, we'll get that game on. Get that game on. Bring on Pulsechain testnet V3. That's what we say. Getting some excitement in there. We've had a very good year in the bear market, honestly. Despite the price going down, I know we've been in a very long bear market for X, but it is an opportunity for people to pick up large volumes, and particularly a lot of new people, which we have seen. We've seen a lot of wallet growth. Is the fact that we've had some exciting stuff. We've had a Maximus. These guys have made the bear market very fun. Optimized yields. We've done very well there. And of course, Icosa Hedron has been spectacular as well. Added another form of passive income on top of Hex, which has been great. A lot of people have been enjoying that. Also giving a lot of opportunity there with innovation as well. So, and the other cool thing is that they're both kind of helped each other, Maximus and Hedron Icosa, which has been really cool as a second layer on top of Hex. So the Hex, not just a supercharged certificate deposit, but now a whole ecosystem. Isn't that beautiful? I think it's really cool. We also know that Power City, when Pulsechain launches, is going to be looking at their Power City Flex, and they're going to be building second layer on top of Hex on Pulsechain as well. So that looks positive. I'm not sure exactly where the timeline is for that now. Obviously, they're focusing on their first projects, the core, and of course, I think the Amplifier. I think they were supposed to be out in November, but we haven't seen those dApps. So obviously, maybe it's just around V3 testnet that's holding them back there. Not quite sure about that. Let me know in the chat if you've heard anything about those two that were supposed to be out for testing. They haven't been out as well. I've been thinking about doing a whole stream on testing all the top tier dApps that are out on the testnet at the moment. I have done that in the past, so I may do that again. I might do it later on today, actually, because I feel like doing it feels like fun. I know that Brendan likes that sort of stuff. I like it, so maybe doing that later on. Just stay tuned. What else there? We got a couple of comments in here. Bob Wells says, that's what my new 3 grand babies get, a hardware device with 5 stakes on them. That's truly great, Bob Wells. I've got to give you a bow down for that. That is a true Hexkin babies. You got 3 Hexkin babies there. Very, very cool. Patience is the key. We'll all be whales one day, says Sinful Believer. That is true. That is true. Sandy Beach says, my son has 1 too, but he doesn't know it yet. Lol, says Sandy Beach. That's very funny. See, we've got this whole new generations of Hexkins coming up, and they might be only 3 months old or 6 months old or 2 years old, but they're all young budding Hexkins, and I don't even know it yet. It's a bit like a baby trust fund, right? Baby trust fund for the babies, a bit like that. I used to have a friend that they were incredibly wealthy, and she had a trust fund all the way through. And when I think she was, when she turned 18, it was worth millions. She didn't have to work for the rest of her life. The trust fund was worth millions, and she was gracious enough to talk to the rest of us. But she was funny. She was pretty funny like that. Has the dashboard launched for Maximus? That has to happen. Invested into team and all the perpetuals, but it's hard to check the stats yet. They're working on that. I don't think that's finished yet, StakeX. I don't think that's finished yet. We could actually quickly check that up. Maybe we'll have a look for that after we look at the Hex Daily stats. That sounds like a good thing to do. My son is a little bit older, says Sandy Beach. Oh, right. Oh, sorry, Sandy Beach. Not 3 months old. Not 3 months. Not a recent baby, Sandy. Not a recent baby. All right, so cool. It feels like things are going to happen. I'm getting excited. Me too, David. I'm excited for Christmas. And you guys know I've been excited about Christmas after the 14th. After we get through that Fed, particularly if it's 50 basis points, please 50 basis points plus if they can give us a bit softer outlook. But maybe we'll get 50-50 for December and February next year. We'll see. Katie's in the house there, one of our awesome moderators. Hello, everybody. Good to see it. Let's go, says Katie. Absolutely, man. Good to see you in the house. All right, so day 1099. That's Hex Day 1099. That's pretty amazing. We've got different days, right? We've got Hedron days. We've got Icosa days. Got to keep up with all this stuff, man. It's a lot of different days. So Hex Day 1099. This is the alpha one, right? This is the one at the beginning. We overuse the word alpha, but hey, that sounds good when we use it, right? Maybe we should use omega. We'll use omega, the end. Yeah, we're not at the end. We're in infinity. What's an infinity? What different infinities, aren't there? All right, so cool. We've got the 5th of December 2022. We've got the price at 2855, so 2.8 cents is the snapshot. We've got the Hex payout per T-share is 6.288. These payouts are just glorious, honestly. I'm really excited about these payouts. They just keep going up and up and up. If you're in the Hex ecosystem, if you've got T-shares, hex.com, check it out. The link's in the video description. It's like this is what the game's all about, is getting these T-shares, man. And you get the yield of the T-shares paid out in Hex times the Hex price. Can be glorious, particularly if you're a big believer in the future of Hex. Then it's pretty amazing to see where Hex will end up going. I know there's quite a few people on Twitter lately talking about Hex price predictions. I did post a video yesterday of Richard Hart with his recent indication of which would do 100x first, Bitcoin, Ethereum, or Hex. And of course, he doesn't think the other two are going to do 100x, which is probably quite reasonable a position. But Hex is the play, right? Hex is going to do it. It's kind of the inferment there. So obviously not investment advice, must do your own due diligence, but that's kind of the play there. So check out that video. T-share price, $720. The T-share rate up 6.5 to 25,217. Now remember, this T-share rate is one of the special features of Hex. It's one of the game changers. So back in the end of 2019, Hex changed the game in so many ways. So it brought into this probably Nobel Prize winning share rate into the investment structure of the product. And of course, no expectations about this, how it plays out. And of course, this is a game changer, and it's been working like a clockwork. It's really cool. Now, if you want to find out more information about the share rate from the dev that really helped to push this, then you can just Google Dev Kyle and Hex together, Dev Kyle and Hex, and check that on YouTube. Well worth watching if you want to deep dive into T-share rate. So very cool. Anyway, it kind of reflects compound interest and just keeps going up and up and up to the right, and it kind of makes it fear over time for people to enter and exit and things like that. It's kind of cool like that, yeah, I really like it a lot. So it's really one of the special features, if not a unique feature of Hex, and this particular share rate. So it's very cool. Now, obviously, you can get this for a third of the price if you stake out longer pays better. So that's another feature of the Hex contract. Longer pays better. When you stake your Hex gets burned, destroyed, and in return you get shares, a bit like an ownership pool, and you get 20% more shares every year that you stake. So you get this effective boost, and it basically gives you that big discount up to 200% over 10 years. So you can get this for much a third of the price there if you do longer pays better. I actually think longer pays better is going to be even more lucrative. Probably why we saw all those big juicy stakes out there today over the last 24 hours. All those big stakes happening. People were starting to get the game. We're 3 years in now. People are like, hey, this contract's been around for 3 years. This thing, I might as well get my T-shares now. The share rate's it's only going up. Might as well get my position strong. So yeah, seen some really nice stuff happening in the last couple of days, actually, not just the last day, but yesterday was pretty good too. Increase in T-share rate, so that was pretty cool. The average stake length, 6.73 years. So the community is going to be around for a long time. That's a very stickiness part of the ecosystem. You know, a lot of dApps out there, people can come and go as they want. And of course, as you know, Richard Hart's big generic principle about store of value is people have to buy and hold it. So how to do it? Well, you create the mechanisms like we see here, longer pays better, earlier pays better, bigger pays better, to encourage people to buy and hold. So that's a pretty big deal there. APY is 37.7%, and that includes the yield or inflation and emergency in-state penalties. It's another cool thing. And top of the Hex is like a Bitcoin, but with what we call a proof of work change. Basically, the inflation gets paid out to people, and people mint it themselves. So no one's giving it to them. There's no middle enterprise, no middleman. You mint out your own rewards. So it's so cool like that. It just operates on the blockchain. It's pure DeFi from that point of view. 37.7%. And of course, you get those juicy penalties if other people break their stakes. If they break their what their responsibility that they made, and then they said they were going to stake for this amount of time, but they don't, they get penalized. And of course, especially if you're under 50% away of your term, you're heavily penalized. So there are 37.7% is the APY, pretty nice, and paid out in Hex. Of course, the price of US dollar price of Hex can move around, but the Hex payout is pretty juicy there. Liquidity pool, 314 million Hex in the pool, up from yesterday's 289 million. We got 10.6 million US dollars versus 10.9 million yesterday. 452 ETH in the pool. Now, obviously, all trading pairs need liquidity. That's how you get a price. So you do need liquidity providers, and sometimes we may even see market makers in there as well. People that are providing that. So cool. We got T-shares there is down 12,144. Now, we knew we had a lot of big stakes coming out. We'll be watching that over the next couple of days in particular to see how the staking goes. But the T-shares are down unbelievable. Now down to 10,281,000 T-shares. This is mind-blowing, folks. Absolutely mind-blowing. We used to be over 11 million. Only not too long ago, 50 days ago or something, we were well over 4 million. And now here we are well below 10.3 million at the moment. Really incredible. And of course, this means your payouts are going out for those that make decisions. So this is the key thing. So with Hex, you have to make a decision. You have to say, am I going to have a staking ladder? Am I just going to all stake it all out far? What are my goals? All this sort of stuff. And whatever you do decides how things are going to play out, right? So it's pretty impressive like that. Obviously, the longer pays better. So the more time you have in the market, the more yield you're going to get. And hopefully some of that coincides with the price in the market. And of course, you get yield times price. You're going to get the optimal outcome there. So there's a bit of that going on too. But you can be strategic. It's up to you what you're going to think. When's the next bull market? Those sort of things. You can time your stakes that way. So you got a bit of flexibility about your own outcome. So it's pretty cool like that too. But man, down to just over 10.3 million T-shares. That's incredible. Now, Hex is easy to understand. As I always say, we have a reward pool with inflation and penalties. We have an ownership pool with T-shares in it. So people are trying to get these T-shares. Now, if we get a change in either the reward pool or the T-shares, then the Hex payout per T-share changes. That is the key there. And of course, we see that's gone down quite dramatically today. Let's see what happens tomorrow as we go. All right, so cool. Let's jump past all this data. And we're going to go to the stake percentage coins. 9.71% of Hex is staked at the moment, which is pretty cool. And we've got just below 1 million here in penalties. So, modest stay in the office there for Hex stakers. That's an additional reward to the inflation. We've got the Hex payout there, 64 million. What else there? We've got the growth in numbers. So not only is the rewards great, but we've, generally speaking, growing pretty well. Today's a pretty soft day, actually, pretty unusual exception here. Down 22 on the wallets on Etherscan, down to 314,000. The stakers are only 6 today. Man, often do we get a single-digit staking day? We've had such epic last 10 days. Look at this, triple-digit staking numbers. And today, only 6. That's pretty unusual. I'm going back to see when was the last day we had a single-digit day. My goodness, that is unusual. But hey, we're still growing, but that's pretty unusual to get a single-digit day in there. Look at that. I'm going back 100 days, and I cannot see one single-digit day there. That's the first single-digit day in 100 days at least. And we're at 116,064, or 84, I should say. Total holders up 108 to 515,000. So we're just sticking away there. Day 1,100 is what we're on at the moment. Pretty cool. The T-share rate payout, 6.232. Amazing. Look, we were just down at 6.12, and now we're up at 6.23. And this thing is going to go up like this. And especially if you are staked beyond the 10-year time frame, you're going to be just absolutely stellar. Like beyond 2030, this T-share payout is going to go up through the moon, and people will be rewarded for that. It's going to be pretty cool. Hey, look, they're probably getting up someone's Hex. They'll only have to sell their interest to pay everything, because that's probably where it's going to be there as well. Now, obviously, Maximus is a big player. I think Maximus has got something like 8% of the known OA sacrifice accounts now. I think something like that in terms of stakes. So I saw a stat coming out there from Maximus the other day, which is pretty amazing. I think all the Maximus there is that powerful now. So very, very cool. What they stake 1.1 billion Hex. And of course, that's impressive. So cool. I think that's versus the T-shares that they have staked, which is amazing. All right, so that's pretty cool. 6.23. It's only getting better and better in terms of the yield. People's decisions matter. What the rewards they get as well, and of course, we'll be following the price as well for the next rally. We're pretty bullish over Hex over in the future. I did a video on the other day called Hex 4th Year, which we're in now. And of course, I looked at the forward-looking things that are coming up. So if you haven't checked out that video, definitely check it out. All the things that are coming up. That's the things that we know about. There's going to be a lot of things that we don't know about that are going to come up too. And I'm very excited about the future of Hex moving forward. And sometimes when you get maximum fear, sometimes that's typically the best place time to pick up something that's a good opportunity, like Hex, for example. After 95% pullback, that kind of range is okay. We might get to 98%, who knows? But you're down at this range, it's starting to get into that really, really good opportunity zone. So it's something to think about. Anyway, nothing on this channel is investment advice, as you guys know. It's just you must do your own investment due diligence, just my opinions. But I hope you guys have enjoyed my commentary today. We're up to an hour and 1. We're pretty much ahead of time. We've got Hedron at 1957, Hex at 2.865, and the markets are holding up. The hammer's not yet fallen, and we only have the Fed meeting coming up on the 14th here is the last thing before we have a good reprieve, maybe 2 months, where we can have a bit of a rally, particularly if Pulsechain comes out, that's for sure. All right, so let's see who else has arrived. Probably got a few more things here. As I said, Dave Down Under says, I feel like things are going to happen. I'm getting excited. I think that sentiment's very, very true. My Hex page says day 100,100. That's true, Bob. That's the day we're on right now. The Infinity Stone says Sandy Beach. I'm not sure what that's about, but they are the power of the universe, apparently, and at least in some fictional universe. Robertson House there, Suitman. Thanks for your consistency. You're welcome, Robert. As you know, consistency is the key. And of course, it's something that I did get when I was training, because you have to be consistent for that. All right, let's end the poll. We got the poll up at the running, so let's end that poll about John Cena. Let's see what the results are. And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls around the world, world. Let's check it out. Is it going to pop up? I'm waiting for it to still pop up there. Brazolji's just popped in the chat there. I can see that. Where's my poll gone? Where's my poll? It's gone. It's disappeared. What the heck? The whole poll just disappeared, folks. What? Oh, there it is. Wow, that took ages to pop up there. John Cena, follow Richard Hart means what? Richard reaching wider influence, 40%. So that's pretty cool. I like that. I think that's probably the best one there. Virality starting to happen, 28%. Yeah, I think there's some truth in that potentially. And of course, means nothing, 19%. Yeah, maybe it means nothing. Maybe someone said he follows so many other people. Maybe it means nothing. Don't know, says 12%. So 1 in 10. So there we are. The people have spoken. Very, very cool. Hex DB is in the house there. Hex is my friend. Hex is your friend. And Hex is our friend too. 6.2 daily payout. Yeah, it's almost heading towards 6.3 though, Briz, isn't it? I can see it coming. It's the current way the T-shares are decreasing, and it could be happening soon. Hey, Brazil's in the house. Hey, everybody. And Crypto Bigfoot says, great thumbnail, lol. Says Crypto. Yeah. John Cena. Genuine says, who's John Cena? He is a WWE superstar and, of course, a movie star as well. So that's who John Cena is. He's a little bit controversial, but welcome to the world there. DB Cooper's in house. That's what she said, says DB. Nice one. Crypto Bigfoot says, I'm looking forward to the John Cena meme, says Crypto Bigfoot. I'm sure there'll be a few of those. We did look at a couple of pictures in the Richard Hart's Twitter feed for that, and it was a bit funny. All right, cool. We're up to an hour and 5 minutes. I think we're going to wrap up there. We've got Hex at the moment, 2.866. Let's see how we get on there. I don't really see. Let's pull up some of the. Do I have the other indicators? Not sure if I do actually on this one. I don't think I have the other indicators here. Maybe I do, but I'm not sure what that button is. I have no idea what those are. Anyway, so yeah, we've pretty much come down here. Let's actually look at the log chart. So let's do that, because I'm going to go to the weekly though, on the weekly chart, and so look how we're looking a bit longer time frame. On the weekly, I've got all these other overlays. I wish you could separate the overlays, but it doesn't seem like I can do that. So here we are. We've got this resistance line here on the log chart on the weekly, and this is we're miles away from breaking out of that. But in any case, where is that going to put us? For a couple of weeks' time, if we get the Pulsechain, let's say by the 26th of Christmas time, that would price of Hex would be about 9.6 cents if we could get that rally. We'd need something pretty strong, something like this, when we were riding up to that 52-cent mark. So maybe the ETH proof of stake might do that. I should do a poll around that. And actually, I'm going to put that on the community tab here on Hex Token channel. about that, what people think we will get pumped from the Hex Proof of Stake, because I actually think it's pretty bullish. If we got a fork of that, that'd be pretty bullish indeed. Especially if they dealt with the bug that was found a month ago, that'd be very bullish indeed. So yeah, 9.6 cents would be the target to break out there if we did it by Christmas time, and of course if we get the information, get the Pulsechain by then. Let me pull this up a bit here on the daily. Now we're back to the daily now. So that would be how many days to 26th, 25th? Let's do 25th, Christmas Day. That would be 18 days away, but of course the 26th would be the 25th in the United States. So that would be 19 days away. So there we are, just under 3 weeks, just over 2.5 weeks perhaps. And man, could we, if we get something around there, maybe Christmas, New Year's could be quite bullish. Let's see. We've got some hopium. Hopium is good. Hopium is good. All right. I think that's about it. So I think that's about it. I hope you guys enjoyed today's show. We're up to now 6 minutes, a little bit shorter than I normally do. But hey, that's just what the news flow for the day. I hope you could subscribe, like, share, hit the bell, and get into our Discord if you want to get into more conversation after the live stream. We've got awesome community mods and moderators and community members in there that you can chat with. We've got Price Chat, Richard Hart Chat, Pulsechain Chat, and all sorts of chats about projects. So get in there. It's a lot of cool stuff there. Half day, says Brian. Half day, boss. Yeah, it's a bit of a half day. Not quite half day, but earlier, that's for sure. Katie's in the house there. Thanks, Superman. You're welcome. And thank you, Hex Token, Sandy Beach. You're welcome too. All right, so cool. Let's pull up some of the, let's pull up some music and funk our way out here. I'm going to play one of our old favorites here. So let's do that on the way out. And a big shout out. I know Sandy Beach is going to try and guess the music for today. But this is a dedication to all Pulsechain people, all Hexicans, and all Pulse Hexicans. Hope you guys enjoy it. And it puts a smile on your face. Woohoo! Let's go. All right, bye for now. Take care.
Well, I drifted off again at work, thinking about Pulsechain. And occasionally I think back to that twerk, Richard Hart bringing his game. Well, I didn't make the sacrifice 'cause I came too late, but day one I'm still making it rain. Oh, I drifted off again at work, thinking about Pulsechain. I woke up in a sweat last night, dreaming about Pulse X. Won't be long before I'm going to bed wearing a Rolex. There's so much to love about it, I can't pick my favorite. It's almost better than sex. Well, oh, I woke up in a sweat last night, dreaming about Pulse X. If you wanna be set up for life, you better stake your hat. Might as well start with 5555, a financial suplex. Generational wealth is just a click away. It's a Nobel Prize worthy flex. If you wanna be set up for life, you better stake your hats. A financial suplex, a Nobel Prize worthy flex. You better stake your hat.